Hey everybody, my name is SPAZ and I'm a CD junkie. On this episode of CD Junkie, I'm going to be discussing a great LA quartet by the name of Great Buildings. They were around playing the LA clubs during the late 70s and early 80s, and they were fabulous. Some would call them power pop, some would call them melodic guitar rock, or melodic guitar pop, whatever you want to call them. They do tend to get lumped in with the power pop brigade, but they are definitely much more than that. Now, two of the members, Danny Wilde and Ian Ainsworth, were members of a band called The Quick, who were a very Sparks-inspired band. And once that sort of petered out, they formed a proper rock or pop band and played British-influenced melodic rock, and that's what you get when you listen to the album Apart from the Crowd that came out in 1981. Now, of course, the album title is not listed on the cover. Normally, there was a sticker that went across the cover of the promos or maybe on the shrink wrap of the original album. There's the back cover there. Fantastic band. Their song Hold On to Something is one of the best singles of the era. It's just so melodic and just draws you into this great world of melody and harmony and hooks, and the rest of the album is absolutely fantastic. There's a song on here called Maybe It's You, which was actually later covered by Robert Palmer, and he put a studio version, I think, on an album called Maybe It's Live. So many great songs on the album. There's the back of the cover. See, it says Apart from the Crowd. And The Light Goes On, Another Day in My Life. Every song in here is just hook-filled. It's glorious. It's wonderful. It's energetic, filled with life. The album was produced by Ed E. Thacker and John Boylan. And it's fantastic. If you want to call it power pop, if you love power pop, you're going to love this album. It's stellar from start to finish, and it's smart, and it's passionate, and it deserves to be in your collection. Now, the band went back in the studio in 1982 to record their second album, but something happened along the way, and the band split up. But those 1982 recordings were eventually released as Extra Epic Everything. Both of these CDs came out on Wounded Bird, by the way. But in 2010, this was essentially what was supposed to be their second album. Now, I can't be 100% sure if these recordings are what they intended to release or if they're unmixed versions. There's much more of a live feel to them, but it's a great collection of pop tunes. Is it as good as Apart from the Crowd? It's really hard to say because I've had almost 40 years to listen to this album and only about 10 years to listen to this. So it's definitely on the same level. There's actually a song on this album that was recorded during these sessions but was never released, so it's extra doubly good. A few years after Great Buildings split up, Danny Wilde started releasing solo albums. His first solo album, called The Boyfriend, featured Phil Solem on guitar. But then he put out a couple more solo albums, and then Phil and Danny got back together and formed the Rembrandts. And the Rembrandts are still around making music. They put out an album every couple of years. They just put out an album last year. And, of course, they did the theme song to the TV series Friends, and everybody loves the Rembrandts. But if you want to hear the roots of where the Rembrandts came from, if you enjoy the music of the Rembrandts, Great Buildings isn't that far off. They don't sound the same, but they're not that far off. They occupy that same musical, melodic, guitar-fueled universe. I say definitely check out Great Buildings. Apart from the Crowd here, stellar album. If you've never heard it, you need to listen to it. Extra Epic Everything, if you already have this, then you definitely need to get this because it contains a previously unreleased album recorded a year after this one. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for hanging out and listen to me talk about Great Buildings. I appreciate it. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. My name is Spaz, and I'm a CD junkie.